Okay. Emma is paid €10.40 an hour for a 35-hour working week. For each hour over €35, she's paid 1.5 times the normal wage. So to find her 1.5 times wage, we get €10.40 and we multiply by 1.5. Can somebody tell me what that is, please? I think it's €17.60. Oh, sorry, €15.60, excuse me. So it's €15.60, okay? That is the overtime wage. In a week, she worked 45 hours. If she works 45 hours, she works 35 standard hours and 10 hours overtime. Okay, 10 hours overtime. So let's calculate this. Part 1, her gross wage is going to be 35 multiplied by €10.40, and then we're going to add that on to the overtime wage, which is going to be €15.60 multiplied by 10 hours. Okay, so 10 hours multiplied by €15.60, and that will be equal to €520. So this comes to €520. That's how much gross she makes in a week. Okay. Now, there's a standard tax of 26%. Okay. So the amount of income tax she pays is 26% of this number. Okay. So, sorry, the amount of gross tax she pays is 26% of this. Okay. So what we're going to do next is we're going to get 26% of 520. 520 multiplied by 26 over 100. What do we get? €135? €125. €135, 20 cents. Okay? Now, this is what's called gross tax, because it's our only tax that we pay. Now, we have to take away our tax credits. So take away your tax credits. And what's the tax credit in this question? €68. You can see it up here. The €68 is the tax credit. So minus €68, and that comes to €67.20. Okay, and that is your income tax, or how much tax you pay. Now, the next part of this question is how much USC does she pay? Now, what we've discussed before is that the USC the USC rates are in the table to the right. So what we got to do is she makes €520, and because she makes €520, she makes in excess of 308. So we had to calculate all three. So the first €193, which is here, is charged at 2%. Okay. The second, 193 to 308, that's €115 when you take them away from each other. The next €115, it's charged at 4%. Okay? And then the final 7%, which is your 520 minus your 308, that gets you 212. The final €212, it's charged at 7%. So we're going to calculate all of these and add them together. So the first one is, sorry, €3.86. The second one is €4.60, and the final one, €154.84. Okay, €154.84. Add them together, and what you get? $163.30, and this is your USC, your final USC. Dennis. Okay, so one of the lads pointed out that this 154 is quite big. It's a bit too big considering that it's 212. So always check your calculations twice. So 212 multiplied by 7 over 100 is 14 euro 84 cents. Add them together and what you get? €23.30, okay? And that's our final USC bill, okay? Remember, USC bills wouldn't be that big, like €150 per week. That's way too big, okay? Next one, PRSI. We pay 5% PRSI, okay? So number 4 is PRSI. So PRSI is just 520 multiplied by 5%. And what do we get? 0.6. Five multiplied by 520 divided by 100. 26. Okay, I said 0.6. 26. 26 euro, okay? So 26 euros part 4, and then finally in part 5, her net pay for the week. Okay? So her net pay for the week is our gross wage minus everything else. So net pay is going to be, her gross wage is 520. She pays PRSI at 26 euro. She pays USC at 23 euro 30 cents, and she pays income tax at 67 euro 20 cents. Take all of these away, and what you get? €403.50, and that's her take-home pay.